Hello, I'm Pascal Brackman, and I want to show you in this short demo how you can create, as an individual or as a tourist organization, a very specific thematic route. And I'm going to take the example of Brussels. So I want to create a recreational and informative route. So I select the route planner, create a route, and I want to make a walking route in Brussels. So the first thing I do is I zoom in on the area of Brussels. So here it is. And I want to make a walk in the center of Brussels. So I zoom in on the area of Brussels. I have to select what type of route I want to make. I'm going to be a pedestrian, and I want to go not along necessarily the nicest path, but I want to go the shortest path from one place to another. So the first example I want to show you is I would like to make a walk related to comics because Brussels and Belgium is big on comic books. So I'm going to give an example related to that place. But the problem is I don't have a clue where all those interesting places are in Brussels related to comic books. So I'm going to select a map layer. And in that map layer, I'm going to select specifically places of interest. So notice when I select places of interest on the right side, you will see that the options here change. And I have to indicate what type of places of interest would you like. So here I could select bed and breakfasts, musea, and so on. But I'm not interested specifically on a type of point of interest. I'm more interested in the theme. And the theme I'm interested in is the theme of classics, of comics in this case. So I'm going to select comics. And here are all the places related in Brussels where there's information now about comics. So I can click on one to see what information is there available. And you probably know those great murals you have in Brussels, which have some information about comics. But there's also here, I see a museum, so I can also click on that one. And here's some information about the museums related to comics. So I'm going back. So now I know the places approximately in Brussels I want to go. Suppose I want to start from the Royal Palace, which is about here, and I would like to continue my planning now. I want to go from one place to the other. So I want to select this one. I want to go via this place, via this place. You understand that I can keep on going to the places I like to go. You can also indicate yourself via points, and you can always move your route towards the area you would like to go. So I'm going to keep on clicking, and you will see that in a few seconds I created my own route. And I'm going to go back, too quickly, returning to the starting points. So I'm going to go back, but I would like to go back via this point because there's also something here. Let me check what's there. Oh yeah, the famous Smurfs. So I've got now my route related to a few points. You can see that I can save the route, and this is my Brussels comic book route. I would advise you to give a better description, but I'm just going to save the route not to lose information. The only thing I did now was indicating the trajectory of the route, but of course I also want to add that interesting information related to comic books. So how can I do that? Here's a pencil, and that's the edit option, and the edit option allows me to add places of interest to the route. So when I select this, I can indicate how many I want as a maximum number. So let's take 50. Are they only yours? In this case, they're not my places of interest. I didn't create them, so I'm going to take also others. And I want to indicate what the maximum distance is to the route. So if you also want the points of interest further away from your route, I can take, for instance, 1 kilometer. And now I still have to indicate what type of filter would you like for the points of interest. I don't want everything, so I want to filter on my specific theme, which is comics. So I select comics, I confirm, and you will see after a few seconds, I have now my points of interest related in Brussels to to the comic books. So here I have all that information available. I can, of course, walk this route on a smartphone by just scanning a QR code, but you can also print your routes. Here's the print option. I can also print a guidebook related to my trek, and here you will see then the guidebook. In this case, it's going to be on my account because I created the route, but it will be your account or your professional organization if you create your route with that account. Here's my tour I have to make. That's the profile, which is not that relevant in this case. And here you see all the information of the places you will pass, and also description. So for instance, here you will see that the Belgian Comic Strip Center you will reach after 4.83 kilometers, and that's number 13 on your map. You can keep on going till the end, and here's a QR code if you want to go digital to your smartphone and see all this and navigate through the streets of Brussels and enjoy this this tour. Just that's the first example. Let me give you a second example. I'm going to plan a route. I'm going to create a route again in Brussels. So we know already we can zoom in on the area of Brussels. Now I want to go to make a museum walk in Brussels. Again, the same story. I select that I want to go walking. I'm going to take the shortest path from place A to B, and I'm going to indicate that I want points of interest or places of interest. But now I don't want a theme. I want specifically musea. So I can look here in the services or in the other information, but that's a bit difficult to know that structure. So I'm just going to type museum and see if something goes up. I can be very specific on a type of museum. So I'm just going to select the general one. And now I see all the musea which are available in Brussels. Notice that depending on where you zoom in, you get more information. So the most important ones are shown first. Let's start in the Horta House or the Horta Museum in Saint-Gilles. I want to start there. So I'm happy with the selection. So I'm going to continue planning. I want to start here, plan via this point of interest. And now you can keep on going to the other places of interest which you would like to follow. So you understand now that I'm only selecting places which are related to musea. And I can individually select points of interest and say, well, I also want to add this musea to the route. So this is an alternative to indicate which type of points of interest you would like to add to your routes. So before I was first making my trek and then I was adding points of interest, you can see now that I can just manually click and add the points of interest which I would like to have. Here's a case where you just go back and forth on the street. If you don't like that, you can always move, and that you have a continuous tour if you like to follow that way. So I'm just going to end at the center, plan via this point of interest, and I'm just going to add this to the route. So you see now this is an alternative way. It allows you, it's a bit more work in one way, but it allows you specifically to add points of interest, and they don't necessarily have to be along your route. Let's give this as an example. Here, I want to add this to the route, and you see it's quite far away from the route, so that's also possible. I'm going to save my route, and I'm going to call it my museum walk in Brussels. So this allows you to create a second type of walking route. So I'm going to save that route. There's also a virtual node network in Brussels, so you could also make cycling tours in the same way. Just try it out. And here's my example of my specific museum route, which I just created. And here you will see that also the museum, which is quite far away from the route, is now on the map. And again, you can use this route on your smartphone, or you can also print it as a guide and take it with you. So let me just show you now your museum guide of Brussels. So in a few seconds, you can create a variety of routes as an organization or as an individual for the area you want to go. Of course, there's a spelling mistake here. Let's go back to see how quickly you can fix this. I'm just going to edit it. I'm going to edit the basic information. So it's my museum walk in Brussels, and I confirm, and you will see that the moment I print it now, it's already updated and it's fixed and available. So this is how easy it is to fix a problem. I forgot to tell you that you also can remove your points of interest if you wouldn't like them. Again, this is my museum walk, some pictures, the musea I'm gonna visit, and this is then the information of the musea I will pass along. So you will see here that this type of musea, the Horta House, is at the start. This is after 2.72 kilometers, and it's number 4 on the map. So enjoy this and create your own routes. Be creative with the information available and have fun. Bye.